Welcome to our podcast, Parenting by the Pint. Enjoy the show.
Greetings, Minivan Mafia. Lauren and I are longtime friends from Chicagoland that love getting together to chat about life, kids, family, and beer.
Each week, we'll feature a brewery and sample at least 2 of their beers.
We'll also discuss a variety of topics ranging from parenting, pop culture, travel, marriage, and just about anything else that comes to mind. Welcome to another fun-filled episode, you guys.
Hi, everybody.
Hey, Lauren. So here we go. This one's going to be special. Not weird like we've been doing lately where we talk about conspiracy theories or we drink hard liquor drinks, but special.
A different kind of special.
Yes. Yeah. I think this is a great opportunity for us. Something we should try to do every so often.
We should.
I'm glad you presented this idea, and I'm really excited that we're doing it. So we're going to talk about beers that have a charitable element to them. We'll put it that way. We collected a few beers here from different breweries that support some sort of charitable cause. Yep. We've touched on that topic before. We did Black is Beautiful a while ago now.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
But I think it's great to see what breweries are doing to give back to their community, which is a lot of it. A lot of it is on the local side of things, which is great. And we're just going to dive in because we're going to drink the beer and talk about the charitable foundation at the same time. So that way we get to do all of our favorite things.
Yeah, drink
all
beer,
at once.
talk about charity. Sounds
so
great.
I am going to open Brother Thelonious. I'm going to not open this beer. How am I open? Oh. I'm going to... I don't know what I'm doing.
Kara's learning how to use a bottle opener that is a bartender's bottle opener.
You know,
and...
yeah, I don't have an excuse. I'm not going to even make one. I almost failed at that. It was borderline. I almost had to hand it over to Lauren. She was like, here, you're going to need this to open the bottle. And she handed it to me, and I just kind of like played with it for a second before we started recording. I was like, yeah, I can totally handle this. She doesn't need to know that I don't know what this is.
Yeah, to work this thing. Yeah, all right, but we were successful in opening Brother Thelonious.
Only everybody who heard the first minute of the podcast knows where I'm at with it.
Yeah, all right,
so
let's give it a try.
Open Brother Thelonious, which is from North Coast Brewing. They're in Fort Bragg, California. It's a Belgian-style Abbey Ale. I'm going to pour it, and we'll have a little taste, and then I'll tell you a little bit about it.
All right, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah,
I know nothing about it.
Go. Yeah. So let's take a taste here. I don't think I've had North Coast. I'm sure I've had something from North Coast because they make Old Rasputin.
Okay, I was going to say, I feel like I've had North Coast something because I recognize it, but I was like, what have I drank from you? Thank you for jogging my memory.
I'll be honest, I did not remember that when my husband brought this beer home, but today I went to the liquor store and was wandering the beer aisles and found this beer very close to Old Rasputin, and then was like, oh, yeah.
That makes sense. Wow. High ABV, and you can taste it.
Oh, what's our ABV, Lauren?
It's 9.4.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, we decided to drink 3 beers. That's going to be interesting.
Yeah, well, all right. It's going to be a minute.
So don't drink too much of this one.
No.
Well, we're at your house.
We're at my house. I can drink whatever
I might just have to sit here and finish this bottle of water.
What is that word? BEBOP? On the top?
Bebop. Bottled bebop.
Okay, I thought
so. That's going to go with our jazz theme.
Ah, makes sense now. Okay, I'm following.
Brother Thelonious is named after Thelonious Monk. Mm-hmm. He was an American jazz pianist and composer. He was known for improv. I could list a bunch of his songs, but I will just give you one more fun fact about him, and we'll move on because I just recommend that you listen to his music.
Yeah.
We're not going to do that here, So you should just do it.
Music. Yeah.
Yes. I promise you will enjoy it. I will say this. He is the second most recorded jazz composer after Duke Ellington.
Wow. I wouldn't have known that. That's cool.
Yeah. So he's, pretty famous in the world of jazz improv. And I think jazz piano is just about the coolest. Yeah. So that's great. This beer was made alongside the effort of contributing to the Monterey Jazz Festival Education Organization. Okay. It's been around for a very long time. Founded in 1958. Oh, wow. There's a jazz festival in Monterey, California that this kind of goes along with. But the organization does do these educational outreach programs consistently. They have camps. They go to schools. Oh, cool. They have a touring all-star student ensemble. They do online resources. They have instrument rentals, which is something that I feel very strongly about. They just do a whole bunch of things to really just promote music and bringing professional jazz artists into the schools and these other places. And I think that's what the main focus is to introduce professional jazz artists to people who have
otherwise
no
wouldn't
idea,
experience
have no experience with that.
Very cool.
Their efforts are to perpetuate America's music and instill qualities of leadership and responsibility and teamwork. Getting involved with the youth is a great way for them to do that. Yeah. And so that is what a part of the proceeds from every bottle that is sold of this particular beer goes toward that organization.
Very cool.
Some fun facts about Brother Thelonious, the brew, not the festival or the person.
Or the person, yeah.
It won platinum at the 2019 Tastings.com World Beer Championships.
Oh.
It won gold at the 2015 European Beer Star, which I've never heard of. And I'm sure it's a big deal. Yeah. And it won silver at the 2006 World Beer Championships in Chicago.
Oh, cool.
So the first thing I'd point out is this beer has been around for a while. Because if they won a silver in 2006 and we're drinking it in 2023, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
So, you're right. It's really freaking strong. Not to let that be overpowering to the sense that this is a Belgian ale, which we have we ever had a Belgian ale?
I don't know.
A Belgian Abbey ale?
Definitely not specific? A Belgian Abbey ale. Definitely not. I'm not entirely sure.
Very sweet, malty, definitely has the alcohol burn. It is very strong.
Yeah. It's flavorful, and it's not too much. It's just that you can definitely tell that it has a high alcohol content from tasting it. You just know that.
I think you can almost tell from the smell of it. It's not super strong, but the moment it hits your lips, you're just like, I'm gonna lay down after this one.
Yeah, but it's a good flavor. Like, in spite of it being a very high ABV, I feel like I could drink a decent amount of it.
A dangerous amount.
Which is dangerous because it's not overly thick. It doesn't have any, it has a very smooth taste for being such high alcohol content.
Yeah,
absolutely. This is easier to drink than it should be.
That's a good description.
That ABV, I feel like. This is actually a very tasty beer, and even though you can definitely know that it has a lot of alcohol in it, it goes down pretty smoothly.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So
I take another sip.
Yeah, right. As I contemplate putting it out of my own reach so that I don't drink any more of it.
Yes. No driving. So not wise.
So now you guys get the gist of what we're doing here. We're going to share a beer. We're going to talk about the brewery. Unfortunately for you, they're not all named after jazz artists, so I don't get to share information about the jazz artists with the next one. But they all have their own interesting take on beer and helping the community. So let's keep going.
Yeah.
And
all right.
Tell me about your charitable beer. Your one.
Yeah, we're gonna drink a Hell's Lager. It was produced by Nick and Ivy Brewing, which is very, very, very local. It's in Lockport, right down the street. Very small. Hasn't been around for a long time, but has put out some great beers. And it is in conjunction with Project Fire Buddies. So, and this one, I think, was actually brewed with people from my husband's fire department, who has a chapter of Project Fire Buddies that does it. So Project Fire Buddies is an Illinois only organization. There's there's like a handful in Northwest Indiana, but there's over 60 chapters of fire departments in Illinois that participate, and a handful in Northwest Indiana. So essentially what it is it's volunteers from different fire departments that help support kids that are typically have terminal illnesses. And in their local community. So they look for people that live in the district or department boundaries that fire department covers. It started as an idea back only in 2016 in Oak Forest is where this started. So very local to us. It's a lot of very local fire departments. But they were transporting a child that had cancer and was having complications, and they thought we'd really love to do something for kids like this.
Yeah.
So it came up with an idea. It's grown to, like I said, more than 60 different departments. They essentially take nominations of children in their community who have an illness and might need some help. So it could be support, anything from they're going to take donations and they're going to buy Christmas presents and they're going to deliver them. They're going to bring kids who can't leave the house because they're too sick to go trick-or-treating candy. One family last year, they brought 20 people and put up all their Christmas decorations.
That's wonderful.
All kinds of different things, from something as small as they want to ride in a fire truck to school, or they want to act like they're, be a cadet for a day, and they come to the firehouse and they eat with them and they train with them and do that. Some kids aren't well enough to do that, so they go to their houses and they bring things and play with them and do all kinds of different things. So it's, anything from small to large. Little kids versus teenagers might like different things. They've also done things that, like, they've arranged calls or visits from their favorite celebrities, or they've taken them to hockey games or baseball games and had them meet Olympic athletes or different things. Even though it's a relatively small organization, they have people like Jack Black and The Rock and Gal Gadot that have done meet and greets and visited cancer patients really awesome. And helped with those, and like all the local, like, Blackhawks, White Sox, other than football, I think all the other major sports have helped participate in these things.
Really cool.
So it's really whatever they do for the person is based off of complete donations from that chapter. So each fire department that wants to participate has a chapter, does fundraisers, those kind of things. Whatever donations they can get, that's how they help the people in their local community. Nice. So this is with my husband's fire department and their chapter of Project Fire Buddies. I'm not sure where the money is going to specifically or what child, but all good things that they're trying to do to help kids in the community.
That's awesome. What an incredibly generous and kind thing to do. Yeah. It's such a cool idea. Children are so fascinated with fire departments.
Yeah. That's also
honestly
true.
It's such a natural collaboration, in my opinion, to put fire departments together with these kids that are obviously looking to learn and appreciate something that they probably will never have appreciated otherwise. Yeah. And to benefit from it and to get happiness from it, which is just awesome. Yeah. It's just so cool.
There's a website. You can donate to it. There's lots of events that different fire departments. Again, this is mostly, as far as I know, this is only an Illinois and Northwest Indiana thing. It hasn't expanded beyond that. That doesn't mean other states might not have something similar.
They might just call it something else.
Project Fire Buddies specifically is a local organization.
Fantastic. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Well, let's try this Hell's Lager. Yeah.
Super crisp.
Oof. I mean, we went from one end of the spectrum to the other. I mean, this is a shock to the system. It's really good, and it's definitely not short on flavor. That is not what I mean by the other side of the spectrum. Yeah, it is just so crisp and clean and zesty and
that's a good word. I like zesty. Yeah. It gives you that zest on your tongue almost. Yes. This is a really great flavor. Yes, completely different than Thelone. I mean, couldn't even compare the two.
Just wait till we get to the third beer.
Oh my gosh,
your minds are going to be blown.
Completely different. But this is a really good, crisp, zesty lager. This is very flavorful and it's really tasty. Like, this is totally a sessionable drink. Like,
absolutely, this is really good. This is really good.
I like it. Good job, guys.
I don't know if I've had anything else from Nick and Ivy.
I've been there.
I know of them.
Yeah.
I know of them. My trips to Lockport are very few.
That's fair. Yeah.
I met my cousin there once or twice when she lived in Homer Glen.
Oh, yeah.
It was sort of a middle ground for us.
Yeah.
And it was great, but we would just go to a restaurant.
Yeah. Well, they don't have food there, so but they do have ordering capabilities with other restaurants next door now.
Oh,
they have, I believe, just like a little app.
Oh, like
that
you
they were
scan the
working
code
on,
and then you can just order and they'll bring
like
it to you.
Stagecoach, which is like this next door, you can just order from them.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
So they don't have food there, but the next door does, and you can just order from them and go there. So, anyways.
Well, that reminds me of that Facebook post I sent you today, which is that Bubble House Brewing installed a pizza phone into their brewery, and you don't even have to dial a number. You pick up the phone, and the pizza place answers, and they deliver to Bubble House for free.
I love that. That's fantastic.
That is
what a
so
great idea.
Cool.
Yes.
I do think if I were to expand on that idea, because I feel like now is the perfect time to talk about it, I would have a phone that would have like 3 buttons on it, and there would be like pizza, tacos, Chinese food,
perfect,
or something.
At least a couple options.
Yeah,
only a couple. I don't need many.
Yeah. And then you would just be like, well, let's do tacos, and then you call and you got and they're like, hey, this is and then you get you just have the menu like stuck to the inside so that you get an idea of what they got.
So you have some idea of what. But I'm a big fan of those options, for sure.
Yeah. So if you have a brewery, that's something that would be really easy for you to do. So you should do it.
Yes, agreed. But Nick and Ivy, Paul Ivnick is who owns it, and he has put out some great stuff. They have live music some nights. Definitely a place worth stopping in. Again, they don't have like a full menu, but you can get food from one of the places around the neighborhood. And, Lockport is not a town that most people really go to unless they have a reason. But State Street actually has multiple different places that you can get beer, lots of bars and restaurants.
Have a nice downtown.
It's very walkable.
Main
they have a
street,
valet that's free on the weekends that you literally just pull up your car and they'll valet
pretty cool.
it. Like, they're very much trying to build up, visitors and things like that.
Yeah, I think it's great. I have eaten at least 2 separate restaurants in the town and thought both were very good.
Yeah.
And complaints.
It seems like there is a lot of camaraderie amongst the businesses there, for the most part, with maybe one exception. But they've done bar crawls and they've been super supportive of each other's places. And I haven't heard negative things. And with my husband being part of the fire department in that town, they frequent a lot of those places. Whether,
totally.
Socially after work or even on calls. So they are around them a lot.
You gotta pick up food once in a while. Yes. You gotta,
But Nick and Ivy's always been positive experience, and I've had a handful of beers from there, and they've all been good. So I would definitely be worth another visit.
Yeah. Well, if you're in the Chicagoland area, then now you know about Nick and Ivy, and you should go there.
For sure. Yes.
And make sure you get this beer.
Yeah.
What's it called? Is it called Fire Buddies?
It has it's the Project Fire Buddies Hell's Lager. Yeah. I'm not sure, they may have sold out of it at this point though, because they did have an event.
Hey, that's okay.
But that's awesome if they did. But I'm sure they have quite a few beers on tap, and if they do anything again with this organization, I will happily contribute to it.
That sounds good. Yeah. That sounds really
awesome.
Good. All right. Well, that's 2, you guys. 2 down, 1 to go.
Yep.
Where could we possibly be going after all of this?
Oh my gosh. Complete I don't even know if you can say other end of the spectrum. We're already on both.
We're like
so
this is a weird, like, not on the spectrum. That's what we're going to do.
All right.
I guess.
Totally off the spectrum.
So here we go.
It.
So we're going to drink Affy Tapple from Phase 3 Brewing. That's what we're going to do. And if you're from around here, you know this beer.
Yep.
You do. Well, if you drink beer, you know this beer. If you don't know Affy Tapple, you've been living under a rock for the last 3 years.
But also, if you don't know this beer, you know what it's based
You know what an Affy Tapple is, right,
yes.
everybody?
Come on.
Now, I know this is a regional thing, though.
True.
Affy Tapples are not, like, United States wide. So, for those of you that maybe don't know what an Affy Tapple is,
No, true.
it is an apple with caramel and peanuts.
It's a taffy apple. It's a caramel apple, essentially.
Yeah, it's a caramel apple that has peanuts all over it.
Yeah.
In other words, it's my worst enemy. I would never eat this. I never ate them as a child. I wouldn't eat them right now.
Yeah.
But, people love them.
Yes, and they
Love
have a
them.
distinctive yellow label.
Yes.
And yeah, they're from the area. I don't remember where they're at. They're in Niles. They're in Niles.
Yeah, not far.
So they're local to the Chicagoland area,
Yes.
and they've been around for ever. 1948.
1948. It says
Yep.
in this
Yeah,
can.
that's
All right.
true.
So let's pour it, and then I'll explain to you why we're drinking it, because this is supposed to be about charity. It's not about
smells
taffy
like
apples.
peanuts.
Yeah, it does.
It smells like caramel corn, actually, a little bit. The caramel and the peanuts is what this smells like.
Okay, listen. So
Kara's
now is
not a fan.
now is a good time to say that when I was pregnant, I was nauseous all the time. No, I'm not pregnant right now. Jeez, you guys.
Oh, no.
Ugh. However, when I was pregnant, I felt nauseous quite often. And the one time I felt the most nauseous is when my husband had a bag of fresh caramel corn from the pumpkin patch. And it was in our pantry, and I got it for him.
So this is really your fault.
It's my fault. And I put it in the pantry at my house. And the next day I came downstairs and I go to open that pantry to get out like probably the only thing I could eat, which was either saltine crackers or like chicken noodle soup.
Yeah.
And the wave of caramel popcorn smell washed over me. And I immediately ran to the bathroom and got sick.
Aww.
And then felt sick for quite a while just remembering the smell. Ugh. So I just smelled this beer, and I will be honest with you, it brought back some memories that I was not prepared to handle. So I'm going to try not to smell it too much while I taste it.
It smells like caramel corn is what it smells like.
It
smells like caramel and
corn.
peanuts is what it smells like. That's 100% what it smells like. And it tastes like a caramel apple.
It tastes better than it smells. That's my opinion.
I don't think it tastes as nutty.
Yeah, maybe that's it.
It tastes more, a little bit of apple you get, and then a lot of caramel I taste.
Okay.
And Kara's going to just stop tasting it.
I'm not drinking any more
general.
I poured too much.
I will drink it.
Here,
I don't mind it.
Honestly, you can drink mine plus what's left. Whatever you want. I am going to work on this Helles that you got for us. I'm going to drink water first, though, because I don't want my Helles to get wrecked by this taffy apple smell.
If you like taffy apples, if you like the Affy Tapple, then you will like this beer. It tastes like what is advertised.
It is 100% what I would guess
yes.
the taffy apple tastes like. Although, as I already said, I have never eaten one. And
yes,
this tastes
like it. It does taste like it. My daughter actually loves taffy apples. I'm not a huge peanut in things fan.
Yeah.
I like just salted peanuts by themselves, not with anything else.
Yes.
I don't like them mixed.
Nope.
So I do not like peanuts and caramel and apple, generally speaking, all together in one bite. It's just not my thing. I don't like to mix those things. But if that is your thing, the beer tastes like what it's proposing to taste like. So,
Yep.
And it is very unique.
So let's talk about the charity that this lovely beer represents. So kudos to Phase 3. Always great to hear about a brewery giving back to the community. And one cool thing I learned about this particular beer and brewery is that they have changed the cause over time as they've come out with new releases of this beer.
That's cool.
I don't know if it changes every single time. I know that the current cause was the cause in 2022 and is still. Okay. So it's my understanding that maybe it's like for a period of time.
Sure.
And maybe that period extends beyond one release of this beer. That's kind of what I get from what I learned. So in 2021, the cause that they were contributing to was the Greater Chicago Food Depository.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
It's a Chicago food bank. It believes in healthy community, and that starts with food. And it's got more than 700 partner organizations and programs in order to kind of go out there and help the community as much as possible when it comes to food scarcity. And I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
Great cause. And awesome that Phase 3 would collaborate with that organization. Yeah. The current organization that Phase 3 is working with from 2022 and this current release is called Gigi's Playhouse. It's a nonprofit that provides free therapeutic, educational, and life skills programs to individuals with Down syndrome and their family. They, from prenatal diagnosis through career skills for adults, they're there for families every step of the way. And their mission is to change the way the world views Down syndrome and advocate for global acceptance for all, which is awesome. It's a great cause. I love the idea and the purpose of life skill programs. I think that's great. That's great for everybody. Yeah. Let's be honest.
True. Yeah.
But this is fantastic. We've talked on occasion before about, there used to be this restaurant in Naperville that employed, and I found out that they were closing and my heart is broken.
Yeah.
That they employed individuals with special needs. I think they had a good number of Down syndrome individuals working for them as servers at the restaurant. And I like the idea of thinking that a place like Gigi's Playhouse is working toward a goal like that.
Yeah.
Because I think that when you have purpose and a sense of accomplishment, you're a happier person.
Yeah.
And everybody has that feeling. And it's great. I think it's great. I don't love the beer. I do not think the beer is great. I do love the idea of how many people do love this beer.
Yes.
And how much money that could generate for an organization like this. So that is great.
Yeah, Gigi's works 100% on donations. So they're a 501(c)(3), just like anything else. And they work on donations. So it is interesting. This is a local, like the Phase 3 is local, Affy Tappy is local. Gigi's is actually in 26 different states and in Mexico as well.
Oh,
so
wow,
they're across. They started in Hoffman Estates. So the Gianni family, Gigi was born in 2002. Gigi's Playhouse started in 2003. I have no idea if you were going to say any of this.
No, that's okay. Feel free. Please add in.
So their daughter has Down syndrome. Didn't really feel like there was a place to get help. And so Nancy, her mom, said, my goal is to find a place that my daughter, people like her, and their families can get this. So now there's, I want to say, over 50 some locations in 26 different states, 2 in Mexico, all started in Illinois. So it's spread exponentially in the last, realistically, 20 years. Actually, the logo, the Gigi's Playhouse logo, was drawn by her older brother Franco, Gigi. So she has 2 older siblings. When she was born, I don't think there are any more. But yeah, it's a very cool organization. They do work with just Down syndrome families. There were a handful of kids who went to Gigi's Playhouse that we met over the years because my son has special needs. So we either cross paths, whether it be in school or other therapies or other just special needs, the rec center, things like that for other kids that are, have needs like that. My son doesn't have Down syndrome, but he's definitely gone to class with numerous people who do.
Yeah.
So it's a great organization. They have social groups. They have all kinds of things. I think the most locations of any state are in Illinois. So there's some throughout, all of the area. So it's a pretty cool to see how much they've grown in the 20 years they've been in existence. So it's an awesome charity that I would say is local, but has also reached far bigger than just Illinois. So.
Well, thank you for those additions. I really appreciate that.
No problem.
That was great.
Yeah. Even if you don't like the beer, lots of people do because people seek this beer out every year.
Yeah.
So
my husband would be upset about this, but he's not here and he doesn't listen to my podcast.
Yeah,
so I will tell you that the Binny's in Plainfield has plenty.
All right, that's where you need to go. Binny's, Plainfield.
So if you're looking for it, they've got stacks and stacks of it.
Right.
And just ask if you don't see it.
Got it.
I promise it's there.
Fantastic. And it's for a good cause.
I would never have bought the last 4-pack, I promise.
Yeah, especially not if you're not going to drink it. So.
Exactly.
But if you like it and you want to contribute to a good cause, go find it.
Yeah, totally. You'll be happy you did. You can always share it with your friends, which is what I'm gonna do.
Yes, that's what she's doing right now. So
yeah, exactly.
It works out. So yeah, I love this. I love that there are ways that breweries are helping to give back to the community. Lots of the time we talk about how breweries work on sustainability and environmental causes and things to just make their operation better. But this is a whole different spectrum of actually donating money back to a different charity besides just helping your local community to help another organization and to do that.
We always talk about how breweries collaborate. They collaborate with each other. They do collaborate with organizations. It's my hope that down the road we're able to do an episode where we talk about Maui Brewing producing a beer that's a charitable donation to everyone who lost everything in the fires in Maui, and there are Illinois breweries that are going to be producing that beer. I look forward to buying it at the very least.
Yes, for
if
sure.
we don't feature it, I would be surprised, but I will definitely buy that beer from as many breweries as I can find.
Yeah, I really it also, not only do I like the beer, but I also really love seeing things like that and gives it an extra reason to buy the beer.
Absolutely.
So it's justifying my purchase of more alcohol in my household.
I know how good you must feel to be helping someone else with your beer drinking.
I am. I feel like I can drink a beer and give back to the community. It's a win-win for everybody.
I mean, isn't it though?
It is.
Yeah.
So we will do this again for sure. If you have any suggestions of beers that are, collaborating, that have a charitable view to it, let us know. I'd love to hear some other.
I would love to do that. This would be a great feature to do every couple of months. I would love to feature breweries that give back to the community in a grand sense. Yeah. I think that's awesome.
I love it. This is great.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're gonna drink some more of a wide range of beers.
Not me.
Here.
I'm only gonna drink the one.
Yeah, that's fine.
One because I have to drive home soon, and the other one because it was yucky.
Yeah, we're not gonna make her do that,
which I also promised my husband I would never describe a beer as yucky. He fun fact, since we have a couple minutes still here, I think that we can spare. I early in my beer drinking career, if you will, shortly after he started working for some liquor store that I may have mentioned earlier.
Yes.
He invited me to like a tasting event at the store, and he was naming breweries and stuff that were going to be there. And at one point he named a brewery and I go, is that the brewery that made blah, blah, blah? I named a specific beer that I still remember and I could name right now for you. And he goes, yeah. And I was like, are they going to have blah, 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 blah? And he goes, yeah, probably. And I was like, that beer is yucky. And he was like, don't say that.
That's not the proper description.
And I was like, but it is yucky. I mean, there's no other words to describe it. And if I told you what it tasted like, which I won't, on here, you would agree that yucky was the right word. And so, I've tried not to use the word yucky. When I went to the liquor store today, I saw my husband and I was walking around the beer aisle, kind of just browsing and looking for inspiration, if you will.
Inspiration.
And my husband was like, do you want me to have the beer guy come over and give you some suggestions? And I was like, no. Come on.
Definitely.
I know more than him. I don't want his help.
It's like the Ron Swanson
exactly
meme.
At the hardware store.
Yes, 100%.
This is my hardware store, people.
This
the beer
is
aisle.
your hardware store.
I don't need your help. Just because you change the art on the can doesn't mean I don't know what your beer is.
I had to describe. I went into the liquor store. Side note, moving on after this. I went to the liquor store not too long ago, and someone was asking someone questions about, in the bourbon aisle, about the different kinds of old fashions. Mind you, this guy mentioned he was from Wisconsin.
Of course.
So
that's important.
It is important. But the person who was helping him had no idea what the difference between our old fashions and a Wisconsin old fashioned was.
I don't even drink old fashions.
I was like, okay, sir.
But I've seen enough Instagram reels to tell you what a brandy old fashioned is.
Yeah. Not the same. But he had no idea how to explain to this person what ingredients went into either version of the old fashioned.
Old fashioned seems like a pretty common drink in the bourbon world.
It's a very common drink. And I was like, sir, you are in the wrong aisle. I don't know what, but I helped this.
Oh, that was so kind of
I was
you.
like, this is what you need.
I did that.
Here
I
are the
did that
things.
with people
Put them in
the
cart.
beer aisle. Not
Yes.
this recent trip, but the last time I went to the liquor store. I don't go very often because I have someone who does that for me.
Yeah, you have the courier.
Yeah, I don't need to make special trips. But I inserted myself into a conversation between two gentlemen who seemed rather taken aback that I would have been able to share as much information as I had. Yeah. They were walking around the liquor store and went, "Oh, Hop Butcher Brewing, I think I've heard of them. Is any of their stuff any good?" And I was like, "It is good. Would you like me to make a recommendation from what I'm looking at right here?
From the things that are in stock.
You should buy Tavern Cut."
Oh,
okay.
For sure. Yeah, there. You can move
You're
on
welcome.
with your life.
I have changed your life.
Yeah, please do that. But so yes, the liquor store seems to be our
That is my hardware store. Yeah, it is where I do my best work.
Yes,
yeah.
I totally agree. So on that note, I'm going to drink some more Hells.
Let's do it.
So, all right.
Thanks
cheers,
for
everybody.
joining us. Bye.
Thanks, everyone, for listening to the latest musings from Parenting by the Pint.
Be sure to find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and make sure that you rate, review, and subscribe to us wherever you find your podcasts.
Have a great week, and cheers to you all.